Nobody is coming to save you. Not your family, not your friends, not luck. Not some perfect opportunity you keep waiting for. And definitely not motivation. Motivation comes and goes. It shows up when things are easy and disappears the moment life gets hard. If your life stays the same, it is not because the world forgot about you. It is because you stayed the same. That is the truth most people run from. And the moment you accept it, everything begins to change. Because discipline is the only way out of a broke life. Not talent, not connections, not wishing, not complaining. Discipline. Look at your life carefully. Be honest with yourself. Not emotional, not defensive, just honest. You have ideas, but you do not execute them. You have plans, but you do not follow through. You say you want a better life, but your daily actions do not match that desire. You wake up tired, even when you had enough sleep. You delay what matters. You avoid discomfort. You choose what feels good instead of what builds you. You scroll, you watch, you wait. And slowly, without even noticing, time begins to move ahead of you. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. And one day, you look at your life and realize nothing has really changed. Same struggles, same financial pressure, same frustration, same excuses. And it hurts because deep down, you know you could be more. You know you are not stupid. You know you are not weak. You know you are capable. But capability without discipline means nothing. That is where most people get it wrong. They think success is about knowing what to do. It is not. Most people already know what to do. Wake up early, stay consistent. Work on something meaningful. Avoid distractions. Improve daily. The problem is not knowledge. The problem is control. Control over your mind. Control over your actions. Control over your habits. And that control is called discipline. Discipline is not something you feel. It is something you do, especially when you do not feel like it. That is why most people never escape being broke, because they are controlled by feelings. When they feel tired, they stop. When they feel bored, they quit. When they feel uncomfortable, they run. But growth does not live in comfort. Money does not come from comfort. Respect is not built in comfort. Everything you want is on the other side of doing what you do not feel like doing. And discipline is the bridge that takes you there. A disciplined person wakes up when they say they will, not when they feel like it. They work even when they are tired. They stay focused even when distractions are everywhere. They finish what they start, not because it is easy, but because they have trained themselves to act beyond emotion. That is the difference. Right now, your life is shaped by what you feel. That is why it is unstable. Some days you feel motivated, some days you do not. Some days you try, some days you give up. And because your actions are inconsistent, your results are inconsistent. Discipline removes that chaos. It replaces emotion with structure. It replaces randomness with direction. It replaces weakness with control. When you become disciplined, you stop negotiating with yourself. You do not ask, "Do I feel like doing this?" You tell yourself, "This must be done." And you do it. That simple shift changes everything. Because success is not built on big moments. It is built on small actions repeated daily. Waking up on time, doing your work, learning a skill, saving money, avoiding distractions, staying consistent. These things look small, they look boring, they look insignificant, but they are everything. The problem is, people want big results from small effort. They want a different life without becoming a different person. It does not work like that. Your life changes when your habits change, and your habits change when your discipline increases. That is the only formula. There is no shortcut, no secret path, no hidden trick, just discipline. And the reason it feels hard is because you have trained yourself to avoid it. Every time you delay something important, you weaken your discipline. Every time you choose comfort over effort, you weaken your discipline. Every time you break your own word, you weaken your discipline. And over time, you become someone who cannot trust themselves. That is dangerous, because if you cannot trust yourself, you cannot build anything. Not success, not money, not stability, nothing. But the good news is this: discipline can be rebuilt. It starts small. You do not need to change your entire life in one day. That is where people fail. They try to do everything at once, then burn out, then return to old habits. Instead, you start with control, simple control. Wake up at a fixed time. Do one important task daily. Reduce distractions. Keep your promises to yourself. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. That is normal. Your mind will resist. It will tell you to rest, to delay, to go back to what is easy. Do not listen. That voice is the reason you are stuck. The more you ignore it, the stronger you become. And slowly, discipline begins to grow. You start finishing what you begin. You start respecting your own time. You start seeing progress. And with progress comes confidence. Not fake confidence, real confidence. The kind that comes from knowing you are in control of yourself. That is powerful. Because once you control yourself, you can control your direction. And once you control your direction, your life begins to change. Money starts to come, not because you chased it, but because you became someone who earns it. Opportunities appear, not because you waited, but because you prepared. Respect grows, not because you demanded it, but because your actions proved it. This is how discipline transforms a broke life. Not instantly, but permanently. And that is the difference. Most people want fast change, but fast change does not last. Discipline is slow, but it is solid. It builds a foundation that cannot easily break. So, instead of asking how to get rich quickly, ask yourself a better question. How can I become more disciplined today? Because if you solve discipline, you solve everything. Your time improves, your habits improve, your mindset improves, your income improves, everything connects. But if you ignore discipline, nothing changes. You can watch all the videos, read all the books, listen to all the advice. Without discipline, it is useless. Because information without action is just noise, and action without consistency is just wasted effort. Discipline is what turns knowledge into results. So the question is simple. Are you ready to stop being controlled by how you feel? Are you ready to stop making excuses? Are you ready to take control of your life? Because no one will do it for you. Not tomorrow, not next week, not someday. Now. Right now is where it begins, not with a big decision, but with a small action. Stand up. Focus. Do what needs to be done. And then repeat it tomorrow, and the next day, and the next day, until discipline becomes who you are. Because when discipline becomes your identity, being broke is no longer your reality, and that is the truth most people will never accept. But now, you know it.